Welcome to Growing Our Retirement. We get a lot of questions about plant patents and trademarks.
We sure do.
Let's talk about it.
So it's fall and we are blowing leaves, and
Not right now.
not at the moment, but it's turned into that time of year. We're potting up today some Korean firs.
Yes.
It's the first time we've ever brought them in, and we thought that we'd give them a try. They are small, and we're going to just put them in 1-gallon pots and give them a try. So the topic of the day is plant patents and trademarks, and we thought we'd just have a little discussion about that.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of research into it. We have a couple of attorneys in the family. We have a friend who's a patent attorney. So we went out and had some discussions and did our research. And of course, we've known about this for a while, but we thought we'd share with you some little more detailed information. A lot of channels have covered this topic, and I think that they hit most of it, but maybe not the whole thing. So
it's a little tricky too, right?
It can be. Let's just let's talk about the whole thing, and let's talk about how it relates to the backyard nursery grower, or any nursery grower for that matter. And start out first of all with what is a patent. So, to protect inventors, the U.S. government gives protection to that inventor for their invention. So if you invent the next greatest thing, the government will allow you a certain amount of time, 17 to 20 years, to commercialize that product or bit of information or technology, or in this case, plant, and to profit from it in kind of a way to reimburse the inventor for all their hard work and probably money that they spent doing it.
It's a good thing.
Yep. So when you talk about computerization, you talk about software, you talk about things that are new, that are inventions, we wouldn't have those inventions if it weren't for the fact that the U.S. government gives some protection to the inventor so they can recoup their costs of having developed that.
Yeah.
And things nowadays are complicated. It takes a lot of time and money to develop something new. So when it comes to plants, what we're talking about is not the cultivar, the core plant. Cedars are cedars and oaks are oaks, but we're talking about things that are hybridized.
Yeah.
So if you cross-pollinate something, you can potentially create a unique hybridization, and then to get an exact clone of that, the only way to do that is to propagate it, not necessarily by seed, but by asexual reproduction, which would be from cuttings primarily. So you take a cutting and you're going to get a clone of that original plant. And that's the part that gets protected by the U.S. government. Moved on to planting pink dogwood trees. This is something we're just doing 50, and something we're adding to the nursery that we haven't had before.
Right.
So once the U.S. government's given a hybridizer protection on a plant, they issue what's called a propagation prohibited number. It's like a patent number, and then that plant can't be propagated commercially. It's not as if the U.S. government's going to come to your house if you propagated one at your home, but you're not supposed to do it. And we do firmly believe that someone who developed something new, any kind of an invention, really is due their royalty, or their profit that they're due to make from all the effort that they put into that plant or invention, since it's similar to a patent.
So can someone or me or anyone propagate and sell a patented plant?
Right, so you can't propagate it. But I do see, and we have not bought any of these, but I do see when I'm buying plants that there are a lot of plants that are propagation prohibited or patented. And when you buy those from the grower, you pay a little royalty.
Okay.
And the plant's going to come with a tag that's going to have the propagation protection number on it.
Right.
And you must use that tag with the plant, so you can grow it out, be a finished grower as we often are, let the plant grow out, sell it, but you can't propagate it. So we like to be able to propagate everything that we get involved with, so it's not something that we really seek to do, and we're pretty happy with most of the many cultivars that are out there that we can grow without the worry of patent.
Right.
So we don't get involved with that, but absolutely many people do. And people who hybridize, they want to find people, and they have growers that commercialize the plants. So you see some of the companies like Moravian and Proven Winners, and they are growing lots and lots of propagation prohibited plants, because people consider them maybe a little bit more special because they're new and they're different.
Yeah.
And this also goes to the trademark that we're going to get into as well.
Does the patent ever expire?
Yep, patents on plants go for 20 years.
Okay.
It varies on different kind of intellectual property, which patents and trademarks are considered intellectual property. Some things are less than 20, but plants are 20 years. So on our website, I posted a couple links to lists of patented plants.
Good.
You can go and you can look at the issue date. You can say, well, that plant's got, only 2 more years to go.
Okay.
Which is often the case because people have been, patenting plants for decades and decades.
Right.
So if you see something that you really like and it's only got 2 years left,
Oh, that's good.
you're going to be able, it's going to go into the public domain after that point, and you can go ahead and start to propagate it.
Oh, that's cool.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's not forever, but it's given that hybridizer the time to, make their money on it and keep it special for a while.
Nice. So what is a patent royalty?
Right. So the royalty is a fee that's paid back to the hybridizer for their invention. So
I want to be a hybridizer.
I know. Somebody who creates hybrids.
Yes.
A hybridizer. Is that really even a word? I don't know. The person that develops hybrids is oftentimes a university or a large grower, and they aren't necessarily the person that's going to totally commercialize the plant. That might be other growers, smaller growers, and people who are going to sell to people like us who are going to grow the plants out, and then they're going to collect the royalty and return it to the person who holds the patent or the person that created the hybrid. So that's a royalty payment.
Got it.
And that's how they make their money, and they do recoup their costs. And it can take years to hybridize, to create a hybrid plant. It's not something that's all that easy, because it does have to be very unique. So it can't just be a slightly pinker rhododendron. It needs to be something that's notably different, that the U.S. Patent Office is going to identify as unique, and grant the license or the patent.
So if I'm a backyard plant nursery person,
right?
How do I know a plant is patented?
Okay, you'll know one of a few ways. So if you had a plant in your yard, you might have to use a plant identification tool, like from your cell phone.
Yeah, like PlantNet or something?
Yeah, and that might get you closer to what that plant actually is. If you bought a plant at a clearance sale at a big box store, it's going to come with a tag. And I can tell you that they do sell some plants that are patented, and oftentimes I see a lot of them that are not.
Okay.
So don't be dissuaded by that. There's a lot of plants out there that are just decor cultivar plant, like a green giant arborvitae.
Okay.
Not a big problem. The other way you'll know is when you order from growers. And so you'll see their price list, and it's going to have a column for the sizes that are available, the plant names that are available, the costs. And then if it is patented, there's going to be a little column for royalty.
Okay.
And that royalty is going to include the royalty back to the grower. And it's also going to include a tag. You're generally going to get a tag with every start that you buy.
Okay.
That's a propagation protected plant. And then just know when you order those into your nursery, you're going to grow them out, you're going to sell them, and that's it. You can't propagate them. It's one only, and you're supposed to use those tags when you sell them.
Okay.
So that people, when they buy them, also know this plant is protected.
Right.
You can't take it home and propagate it.
Right. And you have a list of the patented plants on the website?
I do. So I put together a pretty good group of links on our website, and the links below in the description. And it's going to give you a couple places you can look up where plants are, lists of protected plants. So propagation protected or patented plants.
Right.
So you can take a look. There's one for hostas. You can just Google the plant name typically and get a lot of information.
Right.
But I also have some lists from some universities that tell what the current list of propagation protected plants are, and also the issue date, so that you can look and see, well, maybe some of these are going to come off in the next couple of years. We might plan to add them to our nursery.
Yeah, that's smart.
At some point later on.
Good. All right, we talked about patented. Now, what is a trademarked plant?
Right. So trademarking really is a marketing thing, and a trademark is a name or a mark, like a logo, let's say, that identifies a product as being a little bit different than another product.
Okay.
So the classic example is Apple Computer. Apple, that word is not trademarkable. Apple is just in the genre. It's
Right.
it's a thing that exists.
Yeah.
It's not unique, and it doesn't tell customers anything other than Apple. But
Right.
when you combine it with computer,
Okay.
now it's an Apple computer, and that is a trademark that Apple lives under, and it makes it clear to the customer that this is an Apple computer. It's not a another brand,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So what do plant people do with trademarks? So let's just say you've got you grow a lot of arborvitaes, green giant arborvitaes. Well, that green giant arborvitae is not patented. It is at this point in the public domain. But what if you wanted to make it special, and you're a large nursery and you grow a certain green giant arborvitae, and you want to call it the Northwest green arborvitae.
Okay.
Okay, so it's the same cultivar. It's a green giant arborvitae,
Right.
but now it has a special name, and that is done in marketing to sort of distinguish one thing from another, to try to make it more special,
Okay.
and to try to make it maybe more valuable. But it has very little. The only thing that's protected there is the name. So maybe it's good to understand the difference between legal protection for a name and legal protection for an invention. A patent covers an invention, something that's new, that's unique, and a trademark covers a name or a mark that distinguishes a product and separates it or distinguishes it in the market as a particular company's product. For the example of Apple computer is perfect. So someone could trademark a name for a plant that's already out in the open domain, and really all it is just wrapping. It means nothing. Don't use that name, of course, because it's a trademark of someone else's company.
Okay.
But if you're a computer maker, you can make computers, you just can't call them Apple computers.
Okay.
So we're not going to develop, or somebody had the name trademarked of Northwest green arborvitaes, and it's a green giant arborvitae. You could buy those at a clearance sale, not worry about that name, and just worry about the plant, which is not protected,
Okay.
and grow them and propagate them all you want.
If you're enjoying these videos and you're getting something out of them, would you please like and subscribe and share? It really helps us out.
It does. And watch all our videos, of course. So, final question.
I'm a backyard grower.
Okay. we want to put this topic to rest.
What do I do? How do I handle patents and trademarks?
Okay. First of all, you could spend the rest of your life growing non-patented plants. There are so many.
Okay.
You do not need to work in the world of hybrids. There are some exceptions. You know, I would think of roses, for example. You know, if you're going to be in the rose business, maybe you want to grow a lot of propagation protected plants, then you'll be involved with paying royalties.
Yeah.
And you'll get to know that world, and it's really not that difficult.
Okay.
But you can't propagate those plants.
Got it.
In the world of trademarking, you know, you're not going to really run into that many trademarked plants. I don't see too many of them, but they're out there.
Okay.
You know, just be able to distinguish the difference between a patented or a propagation protected plant and a trademarked plant. Google the plant, do a little bit of research, look at the tag. If it's propagation protected, it's got to say on that tag that it's propagation protected,
Okay.
or you're free to propagate it. So if you see a northwestern green arborvitae and it may say TM, where it's trademarked, that name,
Right.
but it's not going to have a patent protection on it or propagation prohibited number on it, because
Okay.
it's not patented.
Okay.
So don't get confused. It's really not that complicated, and really you could spend a lot of your days just propagating and growing plants that are not protected, not patented, not trademarked, and you should not really have a lot of trouble in this area.
Great.
So thanks, folks. That's it for today. We'll
Thanks,
wrap it up.
everyone.
Thank you.